I was one of the chief sponsors of comprehensive immigration reform. And the basic idea was simple. Yes, we do have to have genuine border security. I don't think anybody should argue with that. Yes, we have to work with Mexico, and they've got to take some responsibility to provide jobs for their people, and they've got to take some responsibility for the borders. We have to make sure that there's economic development there as well as here for all workers. We have to work with employers so that in a non-discriminatory way, they are enforcing rules in terms of who can work and who can't. But one of the things that I've always said is make sure that this system better work in a way that doesn't say just because your last name is Rodriguez, suddenly you are not being hired, right? Which is an enormous problem. But those are all legitimate issues. And then we've got to have a pathway for those people who are undocumented who are already here. And because the truth is, when people say, oh, send them all back, we're not sending them all back. That's not, people aren't telling the truth. We would have to use all our law enforcement resources. We couldn't go after gangbangers. We couldn't go after auto theft. We would have to use every single law enforcement officer to go around and round up folks who are working at restaurants and some of the same people who are talking about this stuff use undocumented workers themselves, right? And so what we need to do, we need to be honest and say, let's pull people out of the shadows. Let's admit that they have broken the law, and so they've got to pay a fine. I think they should learn English because that will help them. But make sure, again, don't cut programs for education programs and then say to people, learn English. And they're going to have to go to the back of the line. They can't get citizenship before people who are waiting patiently, legally, to come here. And fix the broken legal immigration system. The backlog is so long that so many people, ultimately, they just say, you know what, I'm just going to come here illegally. They can't wait 10 years. They might have already been here. They might have met somebody. They might have gotten married. That person's a legal resident, but they can't sponsor them. Now they're supposed to go back for 10 years and wait. People don't do that. So we've got to have a realistic and practical system, strong border security, get people out of the shadows. And if we do that, then I think we can be a nation of laws and a nation of immigrants. Those two things are not incompatible. But it's going to require leadership, unfortunately, I think, from the President of the United States. And right now, the language that came out during this last debate, there was some ugly language there. It was more than just being concerned about the borders. It was them versus us. And whenever we see people talking in terms of them versus us, that's a dangerous thing. America is at its strongest when it's just us. It's not them versus us. And that's the kind of leadership I want to provide as President of the United States of America. All right.